Ever since I got into the creative world, I've always obsessed about having a desk setup that is aesthetically pleasing whilst being functional and cohesive with my entire home office. Even though this hasn't always been the case, over time I've slowly gathered accessories that have helped me elevate my setup. Hello and welcome to the Value Space. In this video, I'll be showing you 13 premium and rare desk accessories you've probably never seen, so buckle up and let's go for the ride. Getting straight into it, if you're like me and have a decent amount of accessories, it is inevitable to have cables sticking out and things looking disorganized underneath your monitor. To make it look more organized, I've been using this desky monitor riser for a little over a month now, and boy, it does make such a big difference. Here's the setup without the riser, and here's the setup with the riser. Made from hardwood walnut, it not only adds a bit of extra storage but also adds the much needed visual structure to my desk. Moving along, next in line is the Steampunk Keyboard and wrist rest. I've been using it for a few months now and it's definitely caused some ripples, judging from the comments I've been getting on my socials. When I brought up rare accessories in the titles, I truly meant it. You don't come across a keyboard like this every other day. Enclosed in a walnut stained wood chassis, this mechanical keyboard embodies the true elements of the neo-Victorian era. The walnut stain brings out the grain on the wood, which is hand-sanded and sealed with linseed oil for a rich, lustrous finish. Starting from the top moving down, a melange of little knickknacks complement the rounded keycaps that have a brass outer ring and a slight divot to them which allows my fingers to fit in perfectly. It's got additional accessories in the form of this riveted cylinder which I use to store my pens and pencils. Right in the middle, I've got this crank that I use to turn on the dimmable light, and this clock which adds an additional timepiece with a bit of that retro element. Being a person who loves design, it adds that Victorian look to my desk, and the brass embellishments together with the walnut perfectly tie in well with the theme of my desk. When it comes to functionality, it's delivering the goods, and typing on it has been so satisfying thanks to the clicky switches it comes with. And while on the subject of typing, we might as well touch on its actuation force. Having chosen Ultimate Blue switches, the actuation force is about 60 grams and a bottom out force of the same amount, which is ideal for someone like me with normal typing habits. To add some reels to the mix, it's also got my initials engraved on it, which not only adds a personal touch but also emphasizes the rarity of this keyboard. If you'd like an in-depth look at it, I'll leave a link of the review in the description box. Moving further down, we've got my keyboard wrist rest. Ergonomics being an essential cog of my setup, this wrist rest comes in clutch. Made from solid hardwood and stained in walnut, it continues with the woody theme of my desk. At the heart of it sits a foam padding upholstered with supple vegetable tan leather and has these triangular patterns that add an interesting design element. All this enclosed in a wooden chassis that's got a bit of a dome shape to it. Moving along, next in line is my Steampunk Mouse. I put my grey MX Master 3 on ice for a little bit, mainly for aesthetic purposes to enjoy this relic of a mouse. Its components mainly sit on a wooden chassis with the palm rest upholstered in vegetable tan leather. The right and left clickers are made out of aluminum rod and the scroll wheel is carved out of bronze, which flows well with the gold on the screws. Besides its main function of cutting through workflows, I like how well it ties to my Steampunk keyboard and adds that visual interest which is a spectacle for the senses. Like mentioned earlier, I'm quite big on ergonomics, and since my Steampunk mouse isn't the best in that regard, I recently got the MX Master 3S in the black and graphite colorway, which ties in well with the theme of my setup. Even though it still holds the same design language as the previous gen MX Master 3, it's got a few new great features that have been amazing to use. Besides the good ergonomics, great battery life, horizontal scroll wheel for productivity and video editing we've grown accustomed to through the previous gen versions, the 3S sticks out in the subtleties. We now have an increasing range of the sensor from 4000 in the MX Master 3 to 8000 dpi in the 3S, better tracking which can work on glass, and clicks that are quieter than the previous gen version. It's not all roses and sunshine though, there are a few quirks, mostly due to the generational leap Logitech is making across the MX Master, starting with the MX Master 3S. For starters, it's no longer compatible with the old unifying technology, as we now have Logitech Bolt, which has advantages like reduced USB bandwidth, which reduces the latency. We also see the introduction of Logitech Option Plus, which is an upgrade from the old Logitech options. All in all, a great accessory and productivity driver for your setup. Moving along, amidst the grandeur and boldness of the tech, This little succulent sticks out of this levitating planter, and boy, hasn't it dressed some eyebrows. Many of my friends can't have enough of it when they come into my office, as well as the netizens on the social media platforms. The planter originally came in white and I spray painted it black to match the ongoing theme. I'm guessing most of you must be wondering how it stays afloat. Well, to put it simply, it uses magnetic levitation to stay elevated. It's got a magnet in the base and another magnet in the planter, and the magnets work in tandem to create repulsion between the base and the planter, which ultimately creates the effect of levitation. I like how its gentle infinite rotations evoke an ethereal calm to the space while working and inspire Edison-like creativity throughout the day, which sets quite a productive mood for me. Moving on, the next accessory is this vintage telephone, and what drama and character does it add to my setup. Primarily made out of bronze and black undertones, it perfectly ties in well with the Steampunk keyboard. The bronze and black undertones seamlessly integrating with the brass embellishments on my keyboard. Quick tip here, repetition creates rhythm.
You see how I'm giving you guys game? Make sure you put those tips into play.
Now, I know the question you're asking yourself is, does it really work? And the answer to that is yes. I just haven't connected it to the line, but in all honesty, I prefer using it as a decor piece. Moving along, next up is my Grovemade Pencil Kit. For the stationery lovers out there, this would be the perfect addition to your setup, more so if you love to sketch and write with pencil. A collab between the prestigious pencil company Blackwing, started in the 1930s, and Grovemade, this pencil kit does more than just look good on display. With integrated sharpening, tip protection and an aesthetic that keeps you inspired, the quality of this pencil kit will set your writing a class apart. Entailing a mix of both the Grovemade and Blackwing aesthetic, these iconic pencils are made from incense cedar and premium Japanese graphite to create an unparalleled writing experience. As for the pencil sharpener, it's made out of machined aluminum with a custom profile German steel bed that creates a durable long curved point, and the freshly sharpened tips are protected by a machine cutout at the bottom of the base of the stand. The pencil and sharpener dock is made out of American black walnut, natural linoleum, and the cork base prevents it from moving around or scratching your desk, and I like how the walnut carries on with the theme of my desk. Moving to some audio accessories, first up is the Shure SM7B. Chances are you might have seen it somewhere on the internet but don't know what it's called. This is the Shure SM7B, an industry-leading microphone whether it's big-time broadcasting, professional podcasts, or creating studio recording. This legendary dynamic microphone delivers smooth and warm vocals every time. It captures and enhances the finer details of the human voice while blocking out all the distractions. Even though my Blue Yeti has been working really well, the SM7B will be replacing it as my daily driver. Something to note though, you'll need to connect it to an audio interface with an XLR cable for more control over the sound. While I'm not a sound expert, 60 decibels is recommended to get the iconic warm and balanced tone associated with the SM7B. Still on the microphone bandwagon, the Blue Baby Bottle SL, another one from the Rarity ensemble. The Baby Bottle SL is a pressure gradient cardioid condenser mic that delivers classic sound and incredible versatility. With a rich present mid-range, smooth top end and neutral bottom, the Baby Bottle SL is reminiscent of the world's finest vintage microphones, featuring a high-pass filter and 20 decibel pad. It excels in adding a rich classic vibe to nearly any sound source, including vocals, electric guitar amps, and even difficult brass instruments like saxophones and horns. At this point, I know you might be asking yourself, why do I have two mics? Well, to put it simply, I've got a podcast in the works and that's why they'll come in clutch. That aside, just like the SM7B, an audio interface is required for more control over the sound. Speaking of an audio interface, the next accessory is the Audient Evo 4. Even though I haven't decked it out yet, from the reviews I've watched and read, the Audient Evo 4 absolutely delivers. It not only looks good but has great functionality. It's super easy to interact with because the middle dial controls everything. If you want to control the gain of either of the microphone inputs, you simply press the input you want and rotate the dial. For the gamers out there, you can control the mix between your own microphone audio and your in-game audio by simply pressing the mix button, then rotate the dial to either side to accomplish 100% mic input or 100% in-game audio, so you can control it with your voice reference and mix it with the game. The green button delivers smart game function in case you automatically wish to calibrate your output decibels when talking into the mic. For reference, the best thing you can do is set your mic volume between -12 and -9 decibels. Speaking of mic volumes, the one that comes with the Insta 360 link is no slouch. Matter of fact, what you're listening to is the onboard mic of the Insta 360 link, but that's not what it's best known for. With features like fast tracking, zoom in and out, all by use of hand gestures. I've been able to stand out of the crowd when in my meetings, and it doesn't stop there. I've also been able to explain things on my whiteboard with so much ease thanks to its AI capabilities, which enable me to zoom in by gesturing with my 2 fingers and move around without any problems. Listening to all that, you might think everything in my home office is always on the go, but I usually warm up to whatever task lay in front of me at the beginning of the day with a hot cup of coffee, and the good thing about the mug I use, I don't have to worry about my coffee going cold. Enter the Ember Mug. It's been in use for a little over 3 weeks now, and I love how it's been keeping my coffee hot for up to an hour and a half and an entire day when sitting on its coaster, which is just mind-blowing. Like most smart devices, it comes with an app which is super easy to use. Once paired with your phone, you can set it to your desired temperature, and the beauty about it, it can still function without the app with a locked-in temperature of 57 degrees. Another feature I've enjoyed is it intelligently senses when to turn off and automatically enters sleep mode when empty or after 2 hours of inactivity. Speaking of inactivity, after a long day of productive activities in my home office, I like to kick back and chill out in my living room, and my watches also get a chance to be inactive. Enter the Home & Hardfield watch box. It's designed to hold either your favorite or your everyday carry watch, so you no longer have to keep your watches tucked away in a drawer or strewn all over your desk. I like how it's been keeping my watches neat and tidy whilst being a display case as well. It also comes with a smaller drawer that you can use to store little knickknacks from your desk setup, and the beauty about it, it comes in a variety of colors and sizes, so depending on your budget and preference, you can always pick one that best suits you. I'm most certain majority of these accessories you've never seen, and I've been using some of them for a while and others I recently bought. Let me know in the comment section which accessory you'd certainly buy, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe as it helps the channel to grow. Check out this video to see budget hacks you can use to improve your desk setup. Until then, people of the internet, I'm signing out. See you on the next one.